Recently, my attention was drawn to the FBI website and their article entitled Project Megiddo. According to this assessment, this strategic assessment, the attached analysis entitled Project Megiddo is an FBI strategic assessment of the potential for domestic terrorism in the United States, undertaken in anticipation of or response to the arrival of the new millennium. Gary Stearman is here to discuss with me the FBI report, Project Megiddo.
Project Megiddo. If there ever was a wonderful code word, Megiddo is it. I'm going to read a paragraph, JR, which will explain this report perfectly, and it goes as follows, quote, for over 4,000 years, Megiddo, a hill in northern Israel, has been the site of many battles. Ancient cities were established there to serve as a fortress on the plain of Jezreel and to guard a mountain pass. As Megiddo was built and rebuilt, one city upon another, a mound or hill was formed. The Hebrew word Armageddon means hill of Megiddo. In English, the word has come to represent battle itself. The last book of the New Testament of the Bible designates Armageddon as the assembly point in the apocalyptic setting of God's final and conclusive battle against evil. The name Megiddo is an apt title for a project that analyzes those who believe the year 2000 will usher in the end of the world and who are willing to perpetrate acts of violence to bring that end about. End quote. The FBI. The introductory paragraph from their 32-page document called Project Megiddo. And JR, this project.
A church in Walterville in Liberty County was surrounded by FBI agents this morning.
And WSAV's Joanne Merrigan has more on the surprise raid and what some people in the community are saying about it.
The FBI confirms that agents out of its Atlanta bureau raided this church earlier today, along with agents from 2 other federal agencies. They say they were executing a search warrant. Federal agents converging on the House of Prayer Christian Church about 8 o'clock Thursday morning. The FBI provided no details on the reason for the search warrant or what they're looking for. At one point, a group of people from inside the building were outside, apparently under guard. It's not known if these are congregation members. Many in the community say they've heard of this church.
And most people, when people say the church on Airport Road, they say that church is kind of like...
Jeffrey Lewis says the church is considered controversial.
You may think they're cultish ways because of their dressing and how they move, so... If you don't know nothing about it, yeah, we present it as a cult. Come from what you see on TV. You understand what I'm saying? But as far as knowing anything in depth in there, no. I've heard plenty of stories from people that when they visit.
In 2017, some people protested the church, saying that they were not being allowed to see their loved ones. The church pastor at the time said that congregation members were free to come and go as they chose. It's not known if this had anything to do with the raid on Thursday. Chris Chandler says he's heard lots of things about the church, but he also says that he has met some people in the congregation.
I've worked with some people, and I've known some people that have gone to the congregation or they're part of it. They're very happy. They enjoy it. You know, it's a part of life for them, and they love it.
The FBI is not providing a timetable on when more information about the search warrant may be made public. At this point, no arrests have been made. The FBI's This investigation is ongoing. From Liberty County, I'm Joanne
Our president and our government and many of the leaders of our government are bashing Christians today and are making this belief in the second coming of Christ around the year 2000 to be a time when Christians will probably try to start a holy war of some kind. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. But in my opinion, all of these things that have surfaced about the Branch Davidians in Waco are causing Bill Clinton and his ilk to try to divert the attention of the American public by demonizing the rest of us.
Well, you know, JR, although we may disagree with the theology of the Branch Davidians, nevertheless, they professed to believe in Christ. They had their own eschatology, and they were made to appear fools by a government who desired to hold them up as a negative example. That's the bottom line. And it was ever so. Governments down through the ages have tried to trample Bible-believing Christians who just hold the simple hope of the return of Jesus Christ.
And you know, it was not popular back then to go to their defense because they were
Yes.
a cult.
A cult.
You know, they were demonized so by the American public that most Christians just sort of turned their heads. Well, I want you to know the rest of us now are beginning to be demonized by the government.